Was the first European to step foot in Japan, someone other than who is listed in the history books. The first Europeans to visit Japan were 2 to 3 Portuguese merchants aboard a Chinese junk. The junk suffered weather damage and was forced to land at Tanegashima, a small island just south of Kyushu, the southernmost of Japan's 4 main islands. The junk spent several months in Tanegashima getting repaired, and the Portuguese merchants introduced the local teenage warlord to the arquebus, a piece of technology that was far above the Chinese hand cannons they were using as firearms. However, if you read some older history text, you might find the name of Fernao Mendes Pinto mentioned as the first European to reach Japan. Pinto was a Portuguese explorer, trader, and writer. He wrote the text of his travels after he retired, and it was published posthumously. There was one problem. Pinto was a colossal liar. Pinto spent over 2 decades traveling back and forth between the African continent and the Far East. During that time, he also fought for the Portuguese crown. He was captured in battle, sold into slavery, and eventually regained his freedom. He met Francis Xavier in Yamaguchi, Japan, and lent him 300 cruzados to build a church there. He also was a Jesuit in Japan from 1554 to 1556, but left the order after that. By Pinto's words, he reached Japan in 1541 in a different Chinese junk, and he introduced the arquebus to Tanegashima. But Pinto was a large enough figure that his presence is recorded elsewhere. The general belief is that he was in Burma at the time, and didn't reach Japan until 1544. Francis Xavier records the loan of 300 cruzados and also records that he paid him back. The Jesuits record his presence in Japan in the mid-1550s and also that there was no disappointment when he left. This is the sad thing about Pinto. He did write in retirement and his memory may have been faulty, but he once wrote that he was 13 times a prisoner and 17 times a slave. He was both prisoner and slave, just not that often. Had Pinto recorded his activities without embellishment, then his travels would have become an important record for the time period. Instead, anything that he wrote has to be corroborated with a second source. And his nickname would not have been Fernao Mendes Pinto, which translates as, Fernand, are you lying? Yes, I'm lying. If you like stories set in medieval Japan, please check out my works. If you like these Japanese history snippets, please follow, subscribe, like, and share my videos. Thank you very much.